So I grew up knowing who the Lord was. I can always remember knowing that there was a God throughout pretty much all of my childhood, and my parents pretty much always brought me to church growing up too. So that was always a part of my life. And as a kid, I don't remember really knowing too much about who God was, as far as his character and what that meant for my life and for me personally. But I learned the Bible stories, and my family really values living by the morals in the Bible, so I think I understood those before I really understood who God was. I understood that I needed to be kind, and I needed to follow the rules, and I knew what the 10 Commandments were and everything like that. So that was pretty much my childhood. I just grew up in the church. And then when I was in middle school is when I started to really get involved in the middle school. There was a new middle school pastor at my church, and I started getting involved in that community. And that's when I started to really learn more about who God was, and more about what it means to really give your life to the Lord and live for him. And throughout middle school, I just continued to learn, but I always had something holding me back. And my pastor, he calls it crossing the line of faith. And I had always heard about this, and I realized that I'd never done that, and I didn't really know how. And I started to hear testimonies from people about when they made the decision to follow Jesus. And some of them were pretty crazy. Some people's testimonies are so moving, and some people just go to such a dark place and then they find the Lord, and it's so beautiful. But my middle school brain, I thought that that's what I needed to do. I thought that I needed to hit rock bottom before I needed God, and before I could really give my life to him. And I really didn't think that I needed that for a while. So I think a lot of people thought that I had given my life to the Lord and that I was a Christian, but really I wasn't. It wasn't until the summer before my freshman year of high school, and that's when I went to a summer camp with my church, and I'd gone to camps before. And I just remember feeling the presence of God so strongly. And I'd felt it before, but it wasn't like that. And I really understood God's love, and I felt it. And it was just crazy. I cried, and I just was so confused. I was like, why am I crying? But God is so good, and I just felt his love, and it was amazing. And that's when I realized that God can use me wherever I am, and he can use anyone, no matter what their story is. And I didn't need to hit rock bottom to give my life to the Lord. And so that's when I made the decision to follow Jesus. Since then, I have learned so much, and just been getting plugged into different things, into Young Life, into my youth group at church. I went on a service trip last year, and God's just been teaching me so much, and continuing to teach me how to love him, and to show me his love for me. And to show me how to care for others. And it's been so cool, just reading more of his word and seeing him transform and renew my mind through that. So yeah, God saved me, and it's pretty great. So since I made the decision to follow Jesus, my whole perspective has changed. Instead of just thinking of maybe pleasing my parents or pleasing the people around me and trying to fit in, God has totally changed my perspective and just transformed my heart to want to serve him and to want to please him above everything else. And it's been a slow process. I think that's something else that I felt insecure about when I first decided to follow Jesus. I was like, everything has to change overnight, and I have to be a completely different person the next day. And God does give us a new heart, and he does transform us. But it's been not the fastest process for me, and he's definitely still working in me, and that's a big blessing because he's going to be working in me my whole life, and that's really exciting. So I've just been learning more about what it means to really love God, and what it means to really devote my life to him, and to give everything to him, including my future and my success and all the plans I have for myself, but to really just surrender that to the Lord. He's been teaching me about that a lot lately. My name is Dooley, and I am part of a greater story.